Chelsea at Mellowstate. In today's video, I am going to take you on a behind the scenes of shipping on Whatnot. Now, this is a big disclaimer. This is how I do my shipping. Whatnot shipping is extremely customizable to the type of items you're shipping. I highly recommend you figure out something that works for you and your items and even your space that you're using to host your Whatnot shows. I'm hoping this doesn't overcomplicate things and confuse you even more because again, it's very customizable and this is what works for me. Let's jump right in. This is the before of my Whatnot show. This is what my space looks like. As you can see, I don't use a rack. The totes there are what I hold my items in. I have my light, which is linked in my Amazon down below. I have my tripod. I do have a computer cart, which is a newer addition. It's totally unnecessary, but it does help me in my shows. I run my entire show from my phone. I do have a laptop here. The only reason I have a laptop here is because I have an automatic printer that prints label name tags for the boxes based by user. All of these boxes here are completely empty. They are priority. They are completely free. And I use these to hold each buyer's order. So if somebody buys an item, they'll get a name tag. I'll stick it right back here and then I will fill the items with every single item that they buy. Just because I am putting them in medium priority flat rate boxes does not mean that's what they are being shipped out in. Once the show is over, that's when I decide what the items will be shipped out in because some people only buy one item. And for most of my shows, if they only buy one item, that means it goes out ground advantage, or I have to upgrade their label to some other type of priority or higher weight label. These are the boxes that I pull from. They were all pre-organized. Every time I go sourcing, I come back inside, I clip all the tags off from the thrift store, and I organize my items by box. So these are standard women's clothing show boxes. I also organize plus size boxes and men's boxes, which are held in a different area of my house. Before I get started showing you the shipping, I wanted to talk about the shipping profile that I have set up for my shows. For most of my shows, this is not a one size fits all by any means, and definitely don't copy this if you sell different types of items than me, because you'll see here in a second that I sometimes have to pay shipping. So my shipping profile is 7 items bundled together for $9.21. No matter how much the item weighs, no matter how bulky the item is, the buyers, I promise them that they can buy 7 items under that $9.21 shipping charge that Whatnot charges the buyer for anything from 1 to 5 pounds. And how I'm able to do that without weighing any of my items is I set up a custom shipping profile. The first step to creating a custom shipping profile is setting up a custom weight for your items. So what I do is I mark each of my items in this custom shipping profile as 11 ounces. And then I say that the max number of items in one single box is 7 items. So no matter how big they are, 7 items are bundled together automatically in one box. If you don't have a custom shipping profile set up, Whatnot is going to smart bundle is what they call it. They're going to smart bundle the items together however they see fit. And sometimes they will put 20 items in a box together. Other times they'll split it up. It's just based on the buyer's location from you to them. And it gets super wonky. So I highly recommend looking into custom shipping profiles if you haven't already. And the key to making my custom shipping profile work for 7 items shipped for $9.21 without having to weigh the item is I use all priority flat rate packaging because as USPS, if you're familiar, as long as the items inside a flat rate box stay under 70 pounds, you're good to go to use those boxes. So that is the key to not having to weigh your items using a custom shipping profile. At the end of the day, it does not matter what my items weigh as long as they can fit into a priority flat rate box, I'm good to go. This custom shipping profile really works for me and how I run my business. I am willing to sometimes pay money for things. I'll try to show you an example here in a second. But for the most part, it works out where buyers pay way less shipping than they need to because I'm not doing it by weight, I'm doing it by box. All right, let's get started and see how much money we can make. This is the aftermath of the show. You'll have to forgive me because I already did put a few of my priority boxes away. Like each of these things was in its own priority box with a label, but just to make more room on the table, I took the single individual items out and I made a pile of their own. As you can see here, these are all just one item, which means the buyers only bought one item from me today. But this is what it looks like. I've already cleaned up the rest of my stuff as well. So again, please forgive me. The cart that used to be sitting right here, I pushed to the corner. Sorry about my laundry machine being a little bit loud. And I pack it up just like this for the weekend. I close down the laptop and all that stuff, and it's out of the way. Again, I do work out of my family room, so it's as out of the way as it can be without having to like push it outside or bring it down the stairs or something crazy like that. But this is the aftermath and this is what it looks like. And now it's time to do some shipping. I am going to try to show you my shipping screen. The shipping hub is Whatnot calls it, as best as I can without sharing information from my buyer or my own information. What I do is I have my laptop and I'll show you all this. What I do is I look at the piles and I see if I need to upgrade any of the boxes I'm using, or basically not even upgrade. I take note of what boxes I need per buyer. For example, all of these single item buyers will be ground advantage because of the shipping profile I have set up on my shows. Thankfully, it's really great. Whatnot allows you to take a 11-ounce label and upgrade it to a 15-ounce label for free. So all of these single item buyers, they all fit under 15 ounces, which is perfect because I don't have to pay any shipping. But for this item over here, this actually is a single item buyer, but she bought this pair of Tom's boots, and I can tell you right now, these weigh more than 15 ounces. So this is the perfect example of sometimes as the seller doing a shipping profile that saves my buyers money. Sometimes I do have to upgrade a 15-ounce ground advantage label to become a priority label or a heavier weight ground advantage label. So for this, I'm not going to make a label for this buyer right away. I usually wait to upgrade or change labels till the end of my shipping. I'll do everything else that's super easy now. At the end, I'll do the harder shipping labels. For these boxes that are more full, I can already tell this one right here, this one right here, this one, and this one, they're pretty much overflowing in these medium flat rate boxes. So I am going to, instead of buying, I'm not really buying, I don't have to spend any money on it. Instead of generating a priority medium flat rate label, I am going to make priority flat rate labels for these 4 buyers, and I've already looked at the rest of the boxes here. This item, this can easily fit into a medium flat rate, this one, and these can all fit into a medium flat rate super easily. So I'm just taking a mental note. Of course, I could bring my computer down here and do it right next to the stuff, but I'm pretty good. I've done this for a long time. I can kind of remember who has what. I'm going to make generate large flat rate labels for these bulkier ones and medium flat rate for the smaller ones. So this is the shipping hub that I often talk about. And quite honestly, guys, this was a really, really bad show. I haven't had a show this bad in a very long time, but that is just the reality of selling on Whatnot. So this is what you see. Oops. You have all your buyers here. You can organize it by weight or value or the items they bought, the order date, who bought it. I always do smaller packages first, and then I go into the larger packages with 4, 5, 6, and 7 items. So this buyer here at the bottom bought 1 item. If you go over here and click this little pen button, it will bring up some different things that you can edit the shipment with. And this is where I said that you can upgrade your item's weight to 15 ounces from 11 ounces for free. You go down here, you'll see all the shipping charges that they potentially will charge you. And you can see it says $0. And you just got a few more ounces for free without having to charge a buyer for those ounces. I usually do it by flat rate packaging materials. That's how I generate my shipping labels. So I'll do ground advantage labels first. I'll generate those labels, which is always one item, always one item. If they bought 2 items, it's going to go into some type of priority packaging with my shipping profile. And then I'll generate all my medium flat rate boxes, and then I'll generate all of my large flat rate box labels. And I know what kind of labels to buy or to generate by looking at the piles that I just showed you down on the table. So all of the buyers that I have checked off here, their items fit into a medium flat rate box comfortably. So I check them all off, and then I come over to the edit shipments side of the page. And this is where you get to choose what kind of flat rate packaging you want. I always do medium top loading, not medium side loading. And I press update labels, and then you generate the labels. I want to make it very clear, this process, how you've seen me doing this, is all based on my shipping profiles that I spoke about earlier. You don't need to have a shipping profile set up to be a successful seller on Whatnot, but it's what is currently working for me, although I did go many, many years without using any custom shipping profiles. Shipping profiles simply overrides the smart bundling that Whatnot does on its own. In general, anything under 1 pound, no matter what it is, no matter how many items it is, as long as the entire shipping label's weight is under 1 pound, it's going to go out ground advantage. You cannot override that on Whatnot. It is one of their shipping settings. You can, however, customize items and shipping materials over 1 pound. So for instance, if you want to do flat rate priority packaging only, you can make that setting in your shipping profiles and on your shipping settings for each of your shows. If you want to only use priority packaging for everything over 5 pounds, you can also set that up. Again, I can't make it clear enough that Whatnot is a very customizable platform, so be sure not to just copy and paste people you see online, how they do their shipping, including myself, because the people who do good on Whatnot, the people who have built careers on Whatnot, have set up shipping settings, shipping profiles that work for the exact items they are selling, and they have probably been doing it a long time to know what they can and cannot do in their business. So now what I'm doing, as you can see, is doing my shipping. Super simple. I usually do ground advantage packages first because it empties out the table faster. So those are, again, single items with my custom shipping profile that I use during the show. Ground advantage packages means that it's only a single item, and I use poly mailers for those. And then I'll move up to my medium flat rate packages. I'll do all the packages that I use a medium flat rate box for. Simple. So you can see me folding them here. I literally just fold them up all nice, close the package. It takes seconds. After I do my medium, then I move on to my larger packages. And my largest package that I send out most of the time is priority flat rate boxes. I want to give you an example because you may be wondering or asking yourself, well, what if the buyer maxes out the shipping, which is 7 items to a box, and every single item they get is super bulky and it doesn't end up fitting into a flat rate large box? That's a great question. In that instance, which it does happen for me sometimes, in that instance, I have to either pay for an upgrade in a label weight and change it to a ground advantage box, or I can split up the package into 2 separate orders. Most of the time, it's the cheapest to just upgrade or change my priority label to a ground advantage label by weight. I actually had to do this twice the other day because I had a lot of people buying some bulky sweaters and shoes that just was impossible to fit into a large flat rate box, and I did have to pay some money for that. Okay, I have 3 more packages to ship. Shipping this show took me 7.5 minutes, plus what I have left. To be fair, it was only a 40 item show, but that's how I do my shipping. I finish my show, I look at each buyer's piles and decide what type of packaging I am going to put their piles into. It's some type of priority packaging, unless they purchase 1 item, then it's going to go out ground advantage. it won't go out ground advantage. If they buy one item and the item weighs more than a pound, then I will have to upgrade their label to either priority, or I can upgrade their label to a 2-pound ground advantage label rather than a 15-ounce ground advantage label. I can't make this clear enough to you guys. Whatnot shipping is not a one size fits all. It's very, very customizable. I do what works for me. I'm hoping this video gives you tips or ideas. Whatnot shipping is way overcomplicated and it doesn't need to be. Hopefully this didn't overcomplicate it even more for you guys. If you have any type of Whatnot shipping questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Anyway, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Smooches.